Welcome back, lovely ladies. If you want to become the woman of your dreams, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. And join our Patreon for even more exclusive content. Now, let's dive into today's story.
It was great having someone from Toledo at MASH 4077. I was so homesick I could talk with him for hours about our hometown. I finally felt like I had a friend in the army. I mean, Radar was okay, but I never really felt like we were friends. Radar never even called me by my first name. The second time I came to visit Danker, he asked me my first name. I told him. Max, he repeated, or maybe I should call you Maxine. Please, please don't say that. I take enough ribbing from the surgeons. It hasn't always been easy smiling through the makeup. Sorry, I thought you didn't mind that. Usually I don't, but I like to think we're friends. I like to think it's different with us. I think our relationship is special. I apologize. My name's Sam, by the way. I love your pretty dress, Max. Really? I stood up and sort of modeled it for him. You really like it? It's one of my favorites. It's beautiful. I was wearing my silk dress, the one I wore when I was doing guard duty at Sentry Post No. 1, and General MacArthur's advance man showed up to brief Colonel Blake. That is so sweet of you to say. I love wearing it. I played with my skirt a little. He really had an eye for fashion. He reminded me of Major Pierce that way. Hawkeye was always complimenting my pretty dresses and giving me advice. I never wore a wedding gown without a slip after he gave me that suggestion. In fact, I never wore any dress without a slip. One thing I was wondering, though, why don't you shave your legs? Shave my legs? Why would I want to do that? Max, you wear dresses. You wear nylons and high heels. You're wearing a bra and a slip. Would shaving your legs really be all that big a deal? If dressing like a woman is going to get you out of the army, you can't dress too much like a woman, can you? You really think that would do it? That would finally get me out? I have no idea, but you've got really nice legs, and if you shaved them, they'd be so much more attractive. I lifted my skirt slightly and looked at my legs. How'd you know I was wearing a slip? I asked. I saw it when you were playing with your skirt. I smiled. I sat down, tucking my skirt beneath my buttocks. I crossed my legs, and without thinking, I tugged my skirt back ever so slightly. Well, if he thought I had nice legs, he might as well enjoy seeing them, even if they were hairy. I'll think about it, I said. When I got back to my tent, I didn't hesitate. I lathered up my legs and started shaving. If you've ever seen my legs, you know it took hours. I put on some new nylons and admired my legs, and I have to say, they really did look pretty. Why hadn't I done this a long time ago? When it came time to visit Sam again, there was only one dress I could wear, of course. My clingy little black dress with the sexy short skirt. Let's see you resist this, Mr. Danker. Wow, he said as soon as I showed up. You look so sexy in that dress. You don't mind me saying that, do you? No, of course not. I feel sexy in this dress. I do kind of like you a little bit better when you wear something girly and feminine, though. I'll make a note of it. Anything for our men in uniform. I sat down and crossed my legs. Thank you for this, he said. He reached out and touched my legs, stroking them just a little. In nylons, the sensation was incredible. Didn't I tell you you had pretty legs? I think what you said was that I had nice legs, but thank you. I'm just sorry I won't be around much longer to appreciate them. I'm going back the day after tomorrow. What? No, you can't. Max, it's not up to me. Don't you think I'd rather stay here and enjoy seeing you in pretty dresses and sexy nylons? But I'll miss you. I'll miss you terribly. What are we going to do? I guess we'll just have to make the most of the time we have left. The first thing I did when I reluctantly left his bedside was to go to the mess hall and beg the cook to put together a picnic basket with sandwiches and fried chicken and a cheap bottle of wine. I took it back to my tent. I unzipped my dress and stepped out of it and started looking through all my other dresses, trying to see what I would wear for him. I was wearing all black lingerie, black bra, black girdle, lacy black slip. Even my nylons were black. The days of me wearing jockey shorts under my dresses were over the day I met Sam Danker. Radar knocked on the door. I told him to come in, and as soon as he did, he gasped and covered his eyes with one hand. Sorry, he said. Take it easy, I said. What did you think I was wearing under my dresses? A suit of armor? What do you want? I put on a kimono to make Radar less nervous. He said he had the duty roster for tomorrow. I told him to put the list on top of the picnic basket. Who's having a picnic? Me and Danka. Oh, you two little lovebirds are going to bill and coo, are you? Lovebirds? Come on, Klinger, the whole compound is talking about you two. Look, Danker is going back to active duty the day after tomorrow. The least I can do is give him a day to enjoy before he goes. Nothing's too good for our fighting men, and I can do without the insinuations. Sorry. Have a good time, you two. Why don't you wear that pretty dress you were wearing when I delivered that letter from Laverne Esposito? Not that it matters what you wear, because you're just two guys having a picnic, which is totally normal. He was gone before I could thank him. What a great idea. The perfect dress for a picnic. I took off my kimono and pulled the floral chiffon dress from the back of my closet. It had been so long since I'd worn that pretty dress, I almost forgot I had it. I held it up in front of myself. Of course, I shouldn't wear it with black lingerie, but it was as pretty as I remembered. I said aloud, "Why haven't I worn this dress again? Maybe I just didn't have anyone to wear it for." The next day I wore pink lingerie under my floral chiffon dress. I didn't bother with the hat, but I did wear a rose above my ear. I thought he would like that. Before leaving my tent, I thought to myself, my ensemble needs a little something. I thought I knew what. I reached into my closet and pulled out my pink petticoats. I had never worn a petticoat with that dress, but I don't know. I just had a whim. I came to his bedside and stood there in my pretty dress, holding my picnic basket. He smiled. "You look beautiful," he said. "Thank you. You look very handsome yourself. Guess what we're going to do today?" I showed him the picnic basket. "Are you ambulatory?" "They tell me I am." "Good. Otherwise it would be a waste of some good sandwiches and fried chicken. Come along." I held out a hand and helped him out of bed. He crooked an arm. I smiled and wrapped a hand around the inside of his elbow. I needed my other hand to carry the picnic basket. "Always a gentleman," I said. "You are so sweet." We headed to the place where I'd been reading that book of poetry when Radar handed me that letter from Laverne. I hadn't counted on it being so windy. The wind was whipping up my skirt and showing off my petticoats. I had to let go of his arm. I had a hard time carrying the picnic basket and holding my skirt down at the same time. Sam laughed. "Don't laugh. You men don't know how easy you have it, not having to deal with dresses and nylons and garters." He laughed again and took the picnic basket from me, leaving me both hands free to hold down my skirt. He put an arm around my shoulder and held me close. He was such a gentleman. I smiled at him. Unfortunately, I didn't look where I was going and I walked too close to a holly bush. "Darn," I said. "What?" "Look," I pointed at my nylons. One of them had a big run in it from the spiky holly leaves. "These are my last good nylons," I said. "I wanted everything to be perfect, and just look at me." "Max, let's not dwell on that. You look beautiful in that dress. Let's just enjoy the rest of the day. Promise you won't let this ruin our time together? Promise." "Okay, I'll try," I said, but I was still upset. We came to the place. I spread a blanket for us to sit on, and we sat down. Men have a natural advantage over those of us who wear dresses in this situation because they can sit cross-legged and be comfortable. I couldn't sit cross-legged in that dress, so I leaned back on my elbows and stretched my legs out before me. Those pretty legs in taupe-colored nylons that I had shaved just for him. I smiled at him. He smiled at me and looked at my legs. I was still upset about my nylons, but I saw that the run probably wasn't visible to him from where he was sitting. That made me feel a little better. We ate. We drank. When we were done, I sat up and coiled my legs under myself. I held myself and shivered. "What's wrong?" "I didn't think about all this wind. I shouldn't have worn this skimpy dress." "Yes, you should. That dress is beautiful. I will think about you in that dress every day for the rest of my life." "Well, it's about time you said something about my dress. I wore it just for you, you know." "I know." He came nearer and put an arm around my shoulders and held me close. Then he kissed me. I guess I wasn't all that surprised. I tried to pretend I was angry, but instead I just kissed him back. "Still upset about your nylons?" "What nylons?" I said. He kissed me again. "We shouldn't do this," I said. "Why not?" "I'm married. I'm going back to active duty tomorrow. I could be killed." "Please don't say that." "I promise no one ever has to know about this. I won't tell if you don't." "I won't tell, darling." He unzipped my dress. I could tell he was getting excited. seeing me in my sexy pink lingerie. "I'm a man, you know," I said. "Does a man wear pretty dresses? Does a man wear a bra and a girdle and a pretty pink slip? Does a man wear nylons and high heels? No man could ever be as girly and feminine as you. I wish I were a woman. I never would have been drafted. When I get home, I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to stop wearing dresses." "Shh, be quiet, Maxine." Then some other things happened. I had never done that with a man before. I'm sure you won't believe me, but it's true. This was what Dr. Sidney Friedman accused me of being. It could have gotten me out of the army, but I could never tell anyone about it. I heard he survived the war. The last time I was in Toledo, I thought of looking him up, but I thought better of it. Better it be just a pleasant memory. Besides, he wouldn't like me in pants.
Did you like the story? Hit that like button and tell me what you thought in the comments. Do you want to hear more stories? Subscribe and hit the bell. For exclusive content and early access, check out our Patreon. You can find the link in the description, or you can watch any of the videos shown on my right. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.